Hi everyone, it's Khalifa back with another video, and in this video I'm going to be laying out a 5-step plan how you can pivot your current job or career into something new. One of the most important things to do if you're looking to pivot your career is to find what you're interested in. It sounds cliche, it sounds like every other advice, but it's true. I would say what I'm most interested, or I was most interested at the time, was money. What can make me the most money? So I looked for jobs that were paying the most money, and at the time, there were some that were in the top 10 that didn't require a medical degree or an advanced degree, such as being a lawyer or a doctor, but they were more in the tech space, so IT space. One of the jobs, I believe, was an IT enterprise architect. At the time, I had no idea what that meant, so I Googled it. I Googled what the job was, I understood as much as I could, and I really asked myself if I could do the job. What motivated me then was the money. And I thought if I could teach myself this skill or enough to get in and learn the job on the job, then that would be a great career choice for me, given where the average salary was in the US. So the takeaway from number one is find jobs that you are interested in, or find jobs that are meeting your criteria of what a successful career looks like or what you want to do. Some of the reasons you could be interested in a job is because you work from home, is because you have a better work-life balance, is because you can get started or get into that field without going back to school. These are some of the reasons you can kind of use, or factors you can use when you filter down what jobs are available and pay the most. So once I found that I wanted to be somewhere in the world of an IT enterprise architect or be an architect one day, I knew I had to figure out how to learn and how to do this job. So the second thing I did was I ordered books. I went to YouTube. I would say 70% YouTube, and I Googled everything I could to learn about the job. And I wanted to learn enough so that I would sound intelligent on interviews and get a job somewhat in this field. Again, if I'm trying to be an enterprise architect or IT architect, that doesn't mean that I can just jump to that job. It still requires several years of experience to get to that level. So what I did was, just like I mentioned in my previous video, or one of my previous videos, I created a work back plan. And what that means is, if I want to get to an IT enterprise architect, what jobs do I need to have to get to that level, and where does the entry level start? So I kind of narrowed it down to what that entry level job was, and I researched the heck out of it. I YouTubed as much as I could. 70% of what I learned was from YouTube. I Googled as much as I could. I ordered a couple dummies books and in somewhat of the industry and field, and learned as much as I could. I did all of that to make sure it was enough for me to land a job, because I knew I'm a quick learner and I could learn on the job and then continue learning on the side after work. What I needed to do to be successful in that job. So YouTube videos, as much as were available on the topic, books I could order, and just Googling and understanding more about the work and industry. Okay, so after finding what you're interested in and narrowing it down to 1 or 2 jobs, learning as much as you can from YouTube, from books, etc., the third thing you could do is actually obtain a certification in that job. Reasons to obtain a certification and to do that or go that route is maybe you've learned a lot about the job, you know what area or field you want to get into, but you're not able to get a job. You're not finding success in nailing down a job or internship or anything of that level to get into that career. Getting a certification from an accredited source shows that you have a certain level of knowledge. It shows that you know enough to get by or to do the job. So getting a certification is super key. And there's certifications in all sorts of areas. So, I'll go to some that I know. If you're trying to get into accounting, a CPA license. If you're trying to get into project management, there are project management certifications you could get. If you're trying to get nailed down or be a consultant, if you're trying to be an analyst, or you're trying to get into a certain tool, there are certifications depending on that tool or software company that they have that you can learn. So getting a certification really shows on your resume that you know what you're talking about. Now, I didn't need a certification at the time to get into the career or the job that I wanted. If you get more nervous on interviews and it's not a strong suit of yours, getting a certification really helps you boost your resume in front of the hiring manager, because it says, okay, Perhaps this person did okay on the interview. However, I know that they can do this job because they have this certification. I know that they can learn because of what they've learned on their resume or how they pivoted their career. So getting a certification really helps give a level of understanding to employers that you can do the minimum job required, and really help solidify that piece. My very first job, I was an analyst in a specific software, and I learned on the job, I learned through YouTube, I learned through books how to solve the daily problems I was facing. So I spent hours looking into issues at work. I spent hours reading and absorbing material through YouTube videos on the field I was in, so that I could keep up with everyone that was doing the same job at my company. So number 4 is really on a case-by-case basis, and it depends where you are in your career. If you are working odd jobs, don't exactly have a degree in the career you're trying to move into, and maybe now you've gained a certification, that could mean finding an entry-level position in the field or line of work that you're looking for. I would highly recommend using LinkedIn for jobs. That's where I've gotten all of mine, and networking, of course, but you could also look elsewhere. So finding an entry-level job in the career or space or field you want to be in is key. I highlight or emphasize entry level because on entry level jobs, hiring managers are willing to take more of a chance than they are for some of the roles where they're looking for someone more senior or someone more seasoned. In more seasoned roles, they want someone who's done this before and to come in and fix the problem without a lot of onboarding, perhaps. But on entry level, they're willing to take more of a chance, and they understand that this person might need more help along the way. And so taking an entry-level job in this field, you're really taking a step back to move 10 steps forward, because perhaps you're taking a pay cut and maybe you're not, it depends on the field, but you're showing that you're gonna move into an entry-level job. You can really learn the job and ideally use that time to learn on the job and learn outside of the job, everything you need to know about this field. And one or two things can happen. One, you'll move up extremely quickly within the company you're in because you'll learn so much. Or you'll learn from the job you're doing and outside of the job. And then, after a year or 2 years, whenever you feel like the time is right, you can look for the next level job at a different company. Now, if you're already in the corporate world, or if you're already in a job that pays you more given because of your experience in it than the career you want to be in, this may mean taking a pay cut. And ideally, you're not taking a large pay cut to move into this role, because then I'd question the industry that you're looking at. But essentially, it's the same mentality. You take one step back in terms of pay to hopefully level your pay 10 times up in the future. And you have to have the long-term vision. You have to have the work back plan of the different roles, of where you want to be, and lay those all in. But sometimes it does mean taking a pay cut to move forward. All right, this last one is something I embody. This is something I believe. As you may tell or cannot tell, I am an optimistic person. I'm super optimistic in everything I do. I always look on the bright side. And I really strongly believe along with that mentality comes a mentality of working harder than the rest. You may be able to tell I have a signed Kobe Bryant basketball, and I'm a big Kobe fan, that and his whole Mamba mentality. I do feel like it plays a role in my work life because I strive to work harder than the rest. And what I mean by that is, yes, you can work smarter and all that stuff, but what I mean by work harder than the rest is when you are at your new job, let's say you found the job that you want to get into, or you found the job in the industry you want to be in, you need to be a sponge at work. You need to understand, absorb from other people in this space, and learn as much as possible. So you go about your day, for example, at this job, you do your job, you've struggled a little bit. At the end of the day, at home or at work, you need to have lessons you've taken away from or things you've learned from that day that you can do better the next day. That's number one. The other thing I'd say is, you come home, you relax, do what you have to do in your personal life, but then find or try to carve out time, even if it's an hour a day, to learn more outside of the job, especially if you're moving into a new field, new industry, and are just new to the world, right? If you're more seasoned, you obviously don't have to do this, you'll learn on the job. But if you're trying to become the best, if you're trying to move up quickly, if you're trying to understand what this new job entails and you're struggling currently at work, you have to devote time outside the job. If you're spending time at work, being a sponge, learning as much as possible. If you're spending time outside of work, learning as much as possible from either the books, research, and whatever else you find that helps you on your tool, that helps you on your journey, those are the key success factors for whatever career you're trying to move into. The biggest lesson here is you have to be accountable. You are responsible for your own journey. You are responsible for your own success. You define your own success, in my opinion. And I feel like if you're taking the right moves in the right direction, you'll slowly stand out and exceed your expectations of. Now, instead of being the newbie in the job that you're in, you're now becoming more senior in the job that you're in. And that opens up many, many doors, whether it's at your current company or a future job or company that you go to. I hope this video was helpful. Please comment, like, subscribe. It can help this channel grow. Leave a comment down below if there's any other points that, from your own perspective, that you could add that can help someone pivot to their career. Thanks so much for watching. Khalifa out.